Hi everyone. When it comes to wounds, assessing them is not just looking at them. It's about uncovering the story they tell us. If we look at all the characteristics, not just length and width, actually it will tell us, is the wound progressing? Is the wound stuck in the inflammatory phase? And the only way to tell is if we do a good assessment. So today I'm going to break down the wound assessment essentials so we can actually look at wounds like a pro. And so when we look at wounds, I'm going to tell you that we look at the wound bed itself, but also the periwound. The periwound will tell us more if it's stuck in the inflammatory phase, as you're going to see. But the etiology, when you're looking at these wounds, is very important. And realize that lower extremity wounds, okay, in an outpatient clinic, 80% are venous leg ulcers, but out of those 80, 20% may have a mixed component. But also atypical is huge because what you do with atypicals may be different. What you do with a VLU or what you do with an arterial wound. But look at the characteristics. All these on this side will tell you if the wound is stuck in the inflammatory phase or not. Is there more drainage? What type of drainage? Is there granulation tissue? We know that in the inflammatory phase, you won't see the beefy red granulation tissue. So that's kind of important. But also, don't forget about the periwound. I've listed step number 8 is the edge. We know that if the wound is deep, it's going to fill in with granulation tissue, but then the epithelial cells will migrate from the edges to close off that wound bed. So if the edges are closed, we're going to need a provider or someone skilled to be able to open up those edges. And also, look at the other steps. All those tell you they're in the inflammatory phase. So if the wound's progressing, that redness should be decreasing. That induration, which is hardening of the skin, should also be decreasing, which means that we're progressing. So as a tip, make sure that you don't only look at length and width, look at everything else. So when we communicate with each other, tell me what that wound is telling us. Let's help uncover the story.